When you think of modern-day comparisons for superstars in the present and superstars in the past, one can't help but make the connection between Joel Embiid and Hakeem Olajuwon. Both are centers, both grew up in Africa and had no interest in basketball during their childhood, preferring to play soccer instead. Both didn't start playing basketball until the age of 15, and shortly after, that's when they got discovered at a local basketball camp in their respective countries. There were plenty of similarities, and the biggest one of all, Embiid wanted to be like Hakeem. Right when he started playing basketball, he learned about Hakeem Olajuwon through videos and film, and that's when he started idolizing him. Over the years, their relationship has shifted and molded into a mentor-student type of bond. As Hakeem watches from a distance as Embiid rises into an all-time legendary player, they've gone back and forth a few times too. How's it going, folks? My name's Andy, and here's what happened when a young Joel Embiid first met Hakeem Olajuwon. Early on in his life, basketball development in Cameroon was lacking behind most other nations. Though if you had the genetic gifts, the height, like Joel Embiid, basketball almost seemed like his destiny. However, there were plenty of obstacles in the way. The question wasn't, can Embiid be a great basketball player? It was, where can he even play basketball? Back in the 2000s, there was only 2 actual gyms in the entire country. Organized games were all held on concrete courts, and parents didn't want their kids to be falling down, scraping their bodies when it got physical. Kids who did play would routinely come home with wounds and show up the next day with several bandages. That's why Embiid shied away from basketball as a youth, but by his teenage years, he hit a growth spurt and was encouraged to give it a shot. Picking up a new sport at the age of 15 is difficult, and in the beginning, he didn't know what the hell he was doing. He was trying to do crossovers, face-ups, like fadeaway jump shots, almost like he was a guard, despite being the biggest guy on the court. Embiid's coach didn't really care about the way he played as long as he was effective, but he needed to model his game after someone else. That's when his life changed forever. Embiid's coach gave him a tape of Hakeem Olajuwon highlights from the 1990s. It wasn't just Olajuwon though. It included highlights of other prominent centers of that era, Patrick Ewing, David Robinson, Shaq. But Olajuwon was the one who grabbed his attention. Now, Embiid wanted to be like him. He couldn't stop watching him. After he finished the tape, he immediately went to his coach and told him, "I want to be Olajuwon." Even after he was done watching, he went on YouTube, scouring the web for all the clips and highlights of Olajuwon's illustrious career. It wasn't too long before Embiid realized he wanted to make the NBA, and this is who he wanted to become. This is how he described it. Quote, "When I started playing basketball, my coach back in Cameroon, the first day he gave me a video of Hakeem Olajuwon. He told me to watch it every day. After every practice, I'd watch every move he did, and I'd just keep doing that. I just fell in love with his game, his footwork, how he moves. I was so proud I wanted to be like him. Because he's African, moved from Nigeria to the US, I just felt if I had the chance to come here, I would try to do the same thing." When Luke Maamute discovered him at a basketball camp in Cameroon, it was a domino effect. He'd participate in more and more games with more scouts watching. Embiid improved at a tremendous pace, and soon he became the best player in his country. Eventually, he got a chance to move to the US to play college basketball. Fast forward to 2014, and despite the concern over Embiid's injuries, he still got drafted with the 3rd overall pick. Around this time, as he got more recognition, Hakeem noticed him too. Embiid met Hakeem, he spoke to Hakeem for the first time of his life over the phone. This is how he recalled that conversation. Quote, "When he was talking to me, I was just excited. I was just laughing the whole time. I don't even remember what he said. I obviously want to have the same career like he had, Hall of Famer. He makes me want to work harder. I'm going to do everything I can to have a great career, stay healthy, and just take care of myself and do some damage in the NBA." Embiid was smitten. He was so excited to talk to him that he forgot everything Hakeem told him. Though he was still recovering through injuries, so he missed his first 2 seasons, and it wouldn't be until years later when they would meet. When they did, Hakeem told him he was super impressed with his rookie season, and even told him he sees himself in Embiid. He praised his skill and footwork at such a young age, and has certain aspects of his game that Hakeem himself never had. The threes, the outside shots, they were different than what Hakeem was used to back in the day. But that's what separated Embiid from a traditional post-up big man, and it works, because Embiid is a threat to score from every area of the floor, while most centers in the 90s were only a threat in the paint. Fast forward 2 more years and it's 2019. Hakeem has been carefully observing Embiid for the last couple years, and praised him even further for his improvement and Embiid's ability to utilize every single strength of his to make way for a new breed of centers. This is what Hakeem said. "You cannot be a traditional center in today's game. It will not work. What a center should be is what Embiid is doing. If you're a dominant big man, you have so many advantages, because first of all, you can dominate on the defensive end. Shot blocking, rebounding, intimidation, that's the start. Then if you get the ball in the post and if you're skilled, it's a mismatch. His footwork is incredible, and because it's instinctive, he knows how to use it at the right time. Embiid, you have no answer for him." Unfortunately, over the years, their relationship has turned a bit rocky. As Embiid struggled in numerous playoff series and as the Sixers continued to get knocked out in the first and second rounds, the critics were getting louder. The media, the fans, the writers, they didn't think he had what it took to completely take over a playoff series, nor the mentality to be an all-time great. Hakeem, who's always been his biggest supporter, also criticized Embiid for not playing to his full potential. As he stated, "He's got all the moves, but leveraging the moves is different. Why would he be shooting threes? He has the advantage every night, and if I have the advantage, I'm going to wear you out. But threes? That's settling. When I'm tired, I settle. You don't settle when you're trying to win, you don't start the game settling." Hakeem said this in early 2023, and you can tell it struck a nerve with Embiid. This was his response. "It's funny when you've got these old guys always talking about posting up. You need to spend time in the paint and all that stuff. You can't win this way anymore. It's not the freaking 90s or 80s like it used to be, so they must not have any basketball IQ." He took a direct shot at Hakeem, along with many other older guys who keep constantly telling him to stop settling for jumpers. Whether Embiid is right or not, him and his team have not been happy with the results over the last few seasons. One thing's for sure, he has decreased his three-point attempts. In the 2022-23 season, Embiid only attempted 15% of his total shots from beyond the arc. In the first few years of his career, over 20% of his shots came from threes, so he's taking fewer now. Plus, his ability to finish at the rim is the best it's ever been. Embiid hit 81% of his shots near the basket, a career high. So even though he didn't like to hear the criticism, he still took it to heart. Not only is he taking advantage of his size more often, but his touch around the rim has gotten a lot better too. Perhaps Hakeem is only tough on him because he wants to see Embiid do better. When centers are dominating the NBA today, you can't help but think it brings a smile to the face of all the centers before them. Heck, even guys like Shaq, who's been critical of Embiid in the past, he's warmed up to him too, because he represents centers in a positive light. It's been so long since we've seen big men dominate the league like this, but in a way that's different than ever before. Perhaps Embiid will never be the next Hakeem. I don't think anyone will. Hakeem's moves can be replicated, but not his fluidity or feel for the game. On the other hand, Embiid is bigger, stronger, moves like a boulder rolling downhill, so even if he modeled his game after Hakeem, he's developed his own identity. But in terms of playstyle, elite at both ends of the court, Embiid is as close as we'll get. It's the team success that's holding him back. Don't forget, Hakeem made the finals early in his career in 1986, but he also struggled for many consecutive seasons after that, losing in the first and second round. And he used to get so much flack for being selfish, for complaining all the time, for being a hothead. In multiple years, he demanded to be traded and even refused to play for the team if his contract demands were not met. Even though Embiid has also complained a lot, he's been kinda sensitive and insecure, he's never had as much drama compared to young Hakeem on the Rockets. For a long time, nobody thought Hakeem could win a title, especially not with his attitude. But when he finally did win those titles, all those haters were silenced, and his reputation changed forever. Embiid still has time to do the same. Anyway, that's all folks. Let me know your thoughts on this comparison between Joel Embiid and Hakeem Olajuwon, not just in their path to the NBA, but also their careers. Do you see Embiid eventually winning a title on the Sixers, or will he have to go elsewhere? Can you also see him winning MVP, DPOY, and Finals MVP in the same season like Hakeem did? I feel like out of everyone in the NBA today, only him and Giannis have a chance to do that. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed the video, and of course, as always, I'll see you next time. Peace.